Thank you, Acting Speaker. Mr. Acting Speaker, my question without notice is to the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, as this country is going through a difficult and tough time, we are beginning to see a worrying trend. Mr. Acting Speaker, the economic problems associated with prolonged rising prices of food and rising unemployment trends have now spilled over, taking a new social and human dimensions. Mr. Speaker, through you, Prime Minister, are you aware of a recent Post-Courier article reporting that women and daughters of some of our families have now gone into prostitution just to survive? Are you aware that they are blaming the high prices of food as the reason for their actions? Mr. Acting Speaker, while we acknowledge that the government is really trying its best, and we do acknowledge the government in trying to assist alleviate the burden of high food prices with the recent 3% CPI adjusted wage increase for 129,058 public servants on ALISCO payroll. But it is alarming, however, when we see that families resort to such illegal and immoral acts just to survive. And so can the Prime Minister inform this Honourable House if the government has any policy interventions to address the effects of the prolonged unemployment situation in the country and rising prices, particularly on the low-income earners, the disadvantaged, the widows and widowers, and the elderly in our society?
Honourable Opposition Leader, we have a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, Opposition Leader, we have departments where ministers all been algorithm law, locatim departments. Why not people here long, already long, give more answers? Why not they all give long all department ministers? We are here to answer your questions. Why are you putting law general na? You try and go through law one month or so. We are here to help. We all departments here to help.
Honourable.
Why not you guys first speak? Put your answers right through the departments. You make him go same law. General na, put him on which is some of us sirang go and bless.
Honourable Member, Minister, thank you for your point of order. Your point of order is in order. I will advise honourable members of this House, if you have a relevant question that you can direct to a minister responsible, you ask that to the minister responsible, but also to all ministers and members. The Prime Minister is the minister of all ministers and is the head of the state, and it is up to the honourable members who wish to direct question to the Prime Minister that I would not stop that to the minister. The Prime Minister is also answerable to answer any question that has been raised to the Prime Minister. Thank you. Your point of order is in order, that I have advised the House in regard to your point of order. Honourable Opposition Leader, continue on with your question.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker. Can the Prime Minister confirm if the government has put in place social welfare programs, policies and strategies to assist in minimizing the hardships on our struggling families? Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Let me appreciate the question posed by the opposition leader. A very important question, a question that tries to promote national interests, our people's welfare. Let me reply by stating that government is, while we may not be specifically informed on practice of prostitution, practice of illegal practices that are happening for people to fend for themselves. We do acknowledge that it is tough time as a nation that is faced with many economic challenges, Papua New Guinea being in most instances, import-dependent nation. We obviously are also affected by what happens globally and externally, as well as our own domestic economy that sometimes is not functioning very well. Let me answer him by saying government took action last year, for instance, when we saw the imported inflation as a result of COVID-19. We were coming out of the COVID-19 induced economic burden with the imported inflation as a direct result of the heat from the Ukrainian-Russian war. We were not insensitive on this. We took some direct actions to reflect the need for government to support our people, especially those who are toiling at the low-income level earning or those who don't have a fixed income. 610 million kina worth of support were passed in the last supplementary budget that the Treasurer handed down last year. In fact, before we went to the elections, those were delivered intending to help our small Papua New Guineans. And I give you one or two examples. And if Mr. Deputy Speaker, mind me talk pisin. Looks away long hard blood time country you go through na struggle long lik man na Mary. 610 million kina worth of support me play package in finish long budget you go finish where trust right giving. Lo display 10% long fuel cost maski emino big club but at least some blood me bla halvim. Rausim 10% below fuel costs. People also rausim GST long all essential item or some rice, tin piece, tin meat. Now, if I'm not wrong, all some all sanitary support long all maman or picking Mary. People are also adjusting CPI. Plenty backlog, public service na super fund come looking gapan out long office floor. People operate long and all forget us and gapan making plenty reform. Law now update na pay him directly super fund long all. Now people also now increasing. People catch up long areas. Now people also increasing 3% CPI adjustment. Law licklick or light in small wages. People increasing tax paying threshold from what was 12,500 before. Now go along 20,000. So said it gives him 20,000 kina na ananit you don't pay him taxes. And sample big work government law yumi led by the treasurer and we start working more display. That Russian taxes for those who earn 20,000 and below every minimum over 100,000 Papua New Guineans who are earning low salaries today they take home extra 40, 50, 60 kina. That extra 40, 50, 60 kina, they can minimum all can buy a little bit bigger rice bag or current one time tin piece na cooking oil, one time rice. So you may help it more along this tough time. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'm simply helping me like giving. But question belong opposition leader, I may good play. I may also ask him, not just today, but whenever you make him go forward. And link along, he got some social welfare program, stop or no got. Mr. Speaker, whilst I may sound tough, and for those who've come into Port Moresby and are causing problem like what my brother, the Honorable Member for Kiriuna, good enough asked yesterday, Port Moresby is not a place for the unemployed. The urban areas is not a place for the unemployed. Government is structuring the way you may deliver service in a way where money go along district, money go along province, now you may get national government program money start. Because before you mean no focus good law district, now province, now you got urban, rural urban migration, Plenty kambung long all place where you got housing, you got school, you got economic opportunity, kind of some also. So now you mean the last 3 years, for instance, now Bianim work long before government, PNC government, before NA government, lo giving focus lo districts na provinces. So the district na province, you work lo get up in road, get up in housing, get up in school, long where you sit down na stop na lead longan. In that manner, hopefully you can stop him this la rural urban migration. Na mila golo this la toko mito potmosi no place lo line no got walk. But you hungry lo potmosi. But you hungry lo lay. Soro se me hard but Prime Minister must talk. Me no have suga na isi lo yupla. Me no have talk but me give social welfare. Ground stable place. Me go around lo Japan, me go around lo America, me go around lo UK, me around lo Australia to buy him coffee for me, buy him cacao for me, buy him copra for me. Di why me bled la katim na buy him la salim. Fish me bled mas partner National Fisheries Authority backside lo good lo walk lo Fisheries Minister before set him example lo manus artisan fishery lo buy him over the fish lo Loringa Bay area. So line lo Loringa you don't have hungry anymore. Go along. Government put him this la SME facility, want the BSP. You go kiss him legally, dinner, no got was you out. District member, provincial governor put him dinner facility, buy him dingy blongol, all go along fish, you fish him, you come sell him latisian, plus buy him fish, set him finish. Mr. Deputy Speaker, me talk all of this la because Papua New Guinea, poor country, you make at ground. Citizen, you own him ground, you own him saltwater, you own him DY. Why come to city now you call a prostitution picking him Mary? Oh, Papa is la picking him Mary. So was life lo here hard, go back lo ground below place. Government got finished. Price support long buy him coffee, so was coffee price go down, oil palm price go down, cacao price go down, vanilla price go down, our price support will kick in and we pay you at good price. Now I tell you what, Mr. Deputy Speaker, 2020 me go long Asaro. Now me talk, price of coffee, but now 6 kina and above. District by buy him, all exporters you buy him 6 kina. Today price of coffee, 6 kina. Price of coffee, I'm abrusing 10 kina pennies. So Papa, you stop the pot must be now you find him hard now, you got ground of place. 10 plus coffee bag, you can kiss him you 10,000 kina. No got need lo picking him Mary go out, you go to place. Next year time, people are making full census. We'll take stock of Papua New Guineans. And we understand the demographic of Papua New Guineans and we go deeper. Is he employed or not employed? What is he doing? Is he educated or not educated? Let me stop one of them. We take a full stock of our Papua New Guinean population and its characteristics. And I want to migrate our people back to productive engagements. You got ground finish. Poor man or Mary. Why stop the pot must be the salim picking Mary? Coffee blue, you can kiss him you 10,000 kina one on year. Cacao blue, you can kiss him you 10,000 kina one on year. Mr. Deputy Speaker, ask him East Civic provincial government. There are more money circulating in East Civic per capita than Hela province or power oil and gas. There's more money in agriculture, period. There's no money in oil and gas. All money is a camouflage to make our people go to the lazy pathway. Imagining that we will become overnight millionaires. Bullshit, excuse my friends. Yeah. My mother is from TVWAN. She collects 200 kina every year. That's nothing compared to the money she makes over 10,000 kina sitting in Tari market selling cabbage. So, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Opposition Leader, you're asking good luck question. So long as Mr. Prime Minister, Opposition, you can talk about social welfare. I am not here to talk about social welfare. People, you got ground finish. Go back to Bitsema. Go back to fish, go back to DY, go back to agriculture. We'll buy it from you. And ask all our districts, the 96 of you, you can become partner with the national government in buying produces from your people. When we implement the price support, when we implement the freight support we already have to subsidize the cost of delivery from productions to the market, and when we link with the supply chain to export outside, people got finished, it's like SME money lo bank where we continue on expanding and making borrowing become cheaper. Now borrowing expensive. All these are geared towards Papua New Guineans working their land and working their society to contribute to the economy and contribute to their own family. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I will conclude by talking no got social welfare, no free handout, maybe school fee will pay. You had lost stable must be next year blood tax stock low said you stop. You got ground place, go back, there'll be a submission coming from and possible funding from the Lands Ministry on a land program. And we want to mobilize Papua New Guineans to go back on the land and be productive citizens instead of waiting for handout from government and handout from Kaman and Kanken Man will promise him Kanken miracle and what miracles are come out. Connect PNG Broimi and we link towards this concept. All big ground me, Makam Valley sleep nothing, Ramu Valley sleep nothing, Civic Plain sleep nothing. No got plenty population lab, road got business. We get connecting Molingli artery roads and pulling power. Our people go back to productive engagements. In 10 years' time, we could eliminate prostitution for our daughters because they got nothing to do today. We're linking them to productive activities. Today, Mila encourage him. Papa, when you looking picking blue, no got work. No can Western time report must be Karem, na you go back to place. Asking one on member blue, I've left him all go back. Me, but I'm Karem will Tari go back. I still talk Lotari, so Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'll have a little bit of a moment later on, but Lobeke Mr. question me like talk. We already given support facility long up him support in all country, this will hard time. But in a long-term solution, we want our people to go to SME, and if you do not know where to start in SME, I point to agriculture, I point to the rural-based economies, that the business opportunity that is there. Government business will link your production to market, that is government business. Our people go back to the production areas. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.